Hi you guys. So I'm back with making another video here of something that I believe the Lord showed me last night. Um, I've been having a lot of dreams of America being invaded. Let's see, the first half of the night was probably just going through that Russia is going to invade America. Russia's going to invade us, and they're going to come from the north, and we're going to be like over there in the Middle East. They're going to come, and it's going to be all bad. It's like what was it? What chapter is that? Ezekiel 38 or Zechariah 38? I can't remember. I'm not prepared right now, you guys. I've been running around trying to find washers for my faucet and making runs back and forth into town. But I figured I better try to put this dream out before my memory erases any more information. So the first half of my dream was about Russia invading America, and particularly being part of that northwestern part of the United States, up in there, Canada, Alaska area. So I had woke up, and I was still kind of in that stage of sleeping, kind of halfway asleep and awake. And I said, Lord, would you confirm this to me? Is this, just me? Because I've been dreaming about it a lot. And I fell back asleep. And then this is the dream I started to have after that. So I was in a church building, and I was kind of watching all the stuff, these little things unfold before my eyes. But I was standing in a church building, and I'm standing in a doorway, or I could see in this doorway of the main sanctuary. And I was standing in this other room, like they might have a youth group room, or I don't know what kind of room it was, but people were lined up. The church members were lined up, and there were a pile of clown wigs on the floor, and people were being issued these clown wigs, or they were putting their clown wigs on, and I was like, this is wrong, this is weird. And I look over, and it's not my I don't go to a church building. I just talk to Jesus and worship him and stuff all day long. You guys are my church, or the people that I gather with. So, but anyway, so it wasn't any church I ever been to. But I look over, and after the clown wigs, and I'm like, what is going on here? And I look into the main sanctuary, and I notice it's dark in there. It's no lights, well, very dim lights, and just deserted. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird. And then the next part of my dream is I was at this sister's house, or I think it was her house, but we were together. And I'm not going to say who it was or anything, but we were waiting together, and we were waiting for our husbands. We were just waiting for them to come back home. It was really weird, and we were really just expecting them with kind of an urgency. And she was sitting on my couch, and she started to get tired. She started to fall asleep. And I was thinking, oh man, she's looking tired, and on my couch I had like a pillow there, but she was so disgusted with me, or this is what I'm thinking. This could be my flesh just, interpreting this, but she didn't want to use my pillow, because I always keep a pillow on my couch just in case someone wants to take a nap or something. during the day, and she didn't want to use that. She thought it was dirty. And she eventually kind of used it, but stuck her head on the corner. Like, it wasn't even dirty. She just, I don't know. It was weird. And she ended up falling asleep. And I perceived in my dream, too, that there was a room in my house that she didn't want to go in there. She just wanted to stay on the couch. She didn't want to use my pillow. It was kind of weird. She thought I was dirty. And so I thought, well, if it makes her feel that uncomfortable, I guess I'll put this recliner. Like, I was trying to move a recliner in front of this door of this room she didn't want to go into. I can't even remember what kind of room it was, if it was a bedroom or, I don't know what it was. And then there was this little boy there. He just popped out of nowhere, and all of a sudden there were toys everywhere. And he took this toy, or this box that had toys in it, and he poured it out on this chair, or on some other type of couch, because there was different furniture in there. And as he was pouring, it turned into like 2 regular-sized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. But as he kept pouring, the Ninja Turtles that were falling out kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and they were the size of sand, and they were endless. He just kept pouring out these Ninja Turtles, and I believe that represents war, because it says that you won't be able to number them. They'll be like the sands. It was like they were pouring out. They became so small, they were like grains of sand, and there were just billions of them falling out onto this couch. And you couldn't tell what they were, but I knew what they were. And so we're waiting for our husbands, and, the Ninja Turtles are like sand. And then I sat back and I was like, well, this is kind of not going so well. And so I happened to look up at the top of my roof in my living room, and stretched all the way around my living room was windows. And the windows were really short. They were at the very top. They weren't like normal windows. They stretched around like a commercial building, kind of like some types of a room that were maybe in a schoolhouse. You'd look up and they'd have the little tiny blackout curtains, and they'd pull them around or whatever. Anyway, I had that type, like maybe at a courthouse or something. And I remember I leaned back and she was asleep, and I was looking up out of this window, and the light of the sun was so bright. It was coming in and filling the room. It was just glaringly bright. And I kept wincing, and it was in my eyes. And then the scene changed. And, something else to add to this was her husband did eventually come back, but it was so weird. He was pregnant. It was so weird. He was pregnant. And he miscarried. So the next part of that dream was him being in like a hospital bed type thing in another room. And he had lost a baby, or a baby was born to him, but it was a stillbirth or a miscarriage. That was really weird to me, you guys. I still can't figure out that whole scene. So I kind of think I know, but I'm not going to debate it. I just want to tell you what was shown to me in a dream. So the next part of the dream was I was in a mall, but I was in a store in the mall, and it was like a financial institute. Like, you could walk in there and get a loan or take out money, kind of like a bank, but they had a lot of cubicles where people would sit down with you and talk about your finances, things like that. And then all of a sudden, I was behind one of the counters, and all of a sudden, something happened, and everybody turned into these like possessed zombies. and they would have their heads down, like looking at a paper, filling out paper, and they would just start to turn into these possessed zombie things. And you could tell everybody outside the shop in the mall was running around crazed out. Something had happened to them. It was some kind of, I don't know if this means demon possession or some kind of pathogen or something like that. It was weird, but it came into this building, this shop that store we were in, and started affecting everybody around me. And I was like, it's not affecting me. It's not getting me. I'm the only one that's normal. And what else happened? Something else happened next. Oh, I tried to take out money out of a register or some kind of drawer behind the counter, and the money was no good or something. When I woke up, I said it's a money collapse. I wrote down zombie bank, mall, investment room, money collapse. And it was weird because after they turned into demons, I got up, or zombies, whatever they were, they looked dead. It was so weird. They were snarling and it was crazy. But I got up on the countertop against the wall, on the farthest part of the countertop, and some of them kind of turned back normal. It was really weird. And I knew that the money was no good. It had collapsed. It was crazy. And people were running around in the mall. It was a nightmare, really. And I want to say I went to take money out of a drawer. Was it me or was it someone else? I can't remember. The more the day goes on, it's harder for me to remember. I was so busy today. I just wrote down some key parts of each of the section of the dreams. But so the first part of the dream, I wrote down Russia invades Alaska, America. I asked for confirmation, and then I was shown a 3-part. There's Christians in church, and they are clowning around. The sanctuary's dark and empty, and they're off over in the gathering part of the church, the kitchen, eating area, whatever, and they are clowning around. They are not even ready for what's about to happen, is what I took from that. They're putting on their wigs and having fun in the church and probably getting ready for Halloween and their trunk or treats and this and that, and they're just clowning around. They have no clue. And the second part, I don't even know. I don't want to go there. The third part, some kind of pathogen, I don't know, a plague, nuclear, radiation poisoning, I don't know, and investment collapse, money collapse. They were in kind of like a investment room, or we were, I don't know, but anyway, you guys, and what's written on this thing I have here? Oh, so I wrote this in my little book here where it's, I said to God and he said to me, and you can write the date and check mark who said what, and then it has a scripture, so that's interesting. So 1 Chronicles 5:20 says, and they were helped against them, and the Hagrites' rights were delivered into their hand, and all who were with them, for they cried out to God in the battle. He needed the prayer because they put their trust in him. I don't know. Makes a little bit of sense. But I love you guys, and I hope you're all having a blessed day. Continue to lift one another up, and stay in prayer. Talk to your family. Talk to your loved ones. Talk to people out in town that, Jesus is coming soon. This war is about to start. I don't know when. I have no idea. Just spread the word. Plant the seed. What Jesus did on the cross. And if you belong to a church, wake them up. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. don't deny what he's shown you or told you or spoken to you through the Spirit. Tell people. Tell your church. If they look at you like you're crazy nuts, oh well. Because the Lord's word never comes back void. All right, I love you guys and have a blessed day. Amen.